Alright, what's going on, you guys? This is your boy RBG, aka the Random Black Gamer, bringing you another video on Marvel's Wolverine. It's been about a few months since we got that epic reveal trailer featuring the bouncing berserker, but we have been wondering when we're gonna get more details, and it seems like we have something in line. It also looks like the people over at Insomniac Games seem to be ducking the smoke from Rockstar as they get ready to roll out Grand Theft Auto 6, allegedly, and we're gonna talk about that. But before we do, I want to ask you guys to do me the biggest favor and like this video. Yeah, I know it's a bit annoying getting this request at the very beginning of the video before you've watched it in its entirety, but YouTube's algorithm encourages it. So if you rock with your boy and you know I'm gonna bring you that awesome content, then smash that like button. And if by any chance you feel like you've wasted 10 minutes of your time that you can't get back, then feel free to retract that like and give it a dislike. Just rate the video and be sure to run up that hype. But yeah, guys, we have been waiting to see some more news on Marvel's Wolverine, which is a game we've been highly anticipating since its announcement. Fans wanted to know if they were going to be experiencing a darker and grittier narrative from that of the Marvel Spider-Man games. And we wanted to know if Wolverine was going to be pulling any punches, or in his case, claws, when it came to the brutality. And once we feasted our eyes on that awesome gameplay trailer that was revealed during last year's State of Play, it pretty much confirmed that Insomniac was going to be dealing out all those things in spades. We're going to be painting the town of Madripoor red with those highly detailed cinematic set pieces that they're notorious for, and there's a very strong possibility that they'll be showing how Wolverine connects to that of Marvel Spider-Man, since the two are said to be in the same universe. I have no doubt that Insomniac has been going back and doing extensive research when it comes to playing older Wolverine games that we enjoyed and taking all the concepts that made those particular titles great, especially X-Men Origins Wolverine Uncaged Edition. I'm also willing to bet that they're going to take a page out of X2 Wolverine's Revenge, which revolved heavily around stealth, since Wolverine is known for doing these covert missions as well as using his heightened senses to sniff out enemies. There's just so much that they can add into this game, similar to how Insomniac Games did with Spider-Man, where they just took the Spider-Man video game toy chest and dumped it all into their game, except they actually expanded upon things that were already pre-established and perfected the things that didn't work in the past. Those are things that I'm expecting with this title, and if you've seen those leaks from the pre-alpha build, then you know we're off to a great start. But with that said, I wanted to talk about the release date because there seems to be a little bit of funny business going on behind the scenes where Insomniac Games and Sony are struggling to figure out when exactly they want to release it. Because if you aren't aware, Grand Theft Auto 6 is right around the corner, and that's by far the most highly anticipated game of the year. And if you ask me, I find this funny because Grand Theft Auto 6 has been in this weird kind of purgatorial state where Rockstar has been trying to figure out when they want to release the game. It's gotten to the point to where we make jokes, like anytime we get something now, we joke about how we've gotten that before we've gotten Grand Theft Auto 6. Like if you remember, the game was first aimed for a fall 2025 release date, but was ultimately pushed back to May of 2026, only to be delayed again to November of this year, which, as you can imagine, has only made other development teams that were going to release their games around that time change their plans, because they simply do not want the smoke with Rockstar and GTA 6, because they know that that's an evergreen title that's going to suck up all the attention away from the games that they're going to be releasing. And according to industry insiders, Sony seems to be in that mix of game development companies that's trying to avoid the competition at all costs, which I kind of find weird because Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be a multi-platform game, but Sony is treating it like it's a PlayStation 5 exclusive because they know that that title is going to move units across all the platforms that it's featured on. But if you ask me, that's something that I don't feel like they should really be worried about, because like I said, man, the timeline in which Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to come out is very ambiguous. That's a project that Rockstar seems heavily intent on making sure is polished upon release, not to mention that's a title that's going to feature online multiplayer, as opposed to Marvel's Wolverine that's only going to be a story-driven single-player game. I feel like there's enough room for both games to essentially thrive in the market, since one is a superhero title and the other is a heist/open world sandbox type of game, but that's just me. Anyways, it's because of this that Sony is looking for a date somewhere around the fall, which many suggest that it could potentially be September to October, but I'm just going to go ahead and take a wild guess that it is going to be released in September, since that seems to be the month of Marvel related things from Insomniac Games. It's the month where Marvel Spider-Man 1 released, and it's also the month that we got the reveal trailer for Marvel Spider-Man 2 and Marvel's Wolverine, so that would give them at least a month to accumulate as much revenue as they can before GTA 6 makes its way to store shelves. Now with all that said, if they are going for that September release date for Marvel's Wolverine, that's still a long ways off, and we still have a lot of things to cover in regards to this title, like what exactly the gameplay is going to entail. Like, even though we've seen the gameplay for Marvel's Wolverine with that second trailer, it doesn't give us enough to know all the things that we're going to be getting with the bouncing berserker. We don't know how much freedom we're going to get in Madripoor compared to how much freedom we got with Marvel Spider-Man in the city of New York. We don't know if that awesome motorcycle sequence is only going to be tailored to a mission, or if we're going to have freedom to ride around it as much as we want. All of these things are still a mystery, and we really want to know how they're going to work in this title. And the only way we're going to be able to know these things is through a showcase or an event for Marvel's Wolverine. And since this is a PlayStation 5 exclusive, chances are that this is going to appear at a PlayStation State of Play, which has been Sony's go-to event to announce the latest happenings in the world of PlayStation. And there have been some murmurings going around the World Wide Web that we could be seeing this thing very soon. We're talking next month, which is a couple days from now, which comes to us by way of a reputable leaker named Nate the Hate over on X, who suggested that the State of Play is scheduled for the first half of February, specifically the 12th, although he didn't really expand on what he expected to launch or show up at the event. But given the fact that Sony always goes out of their way to showcase some of their more highly anticipated launch titles, it's not hard to believe that Marvel's Wolverine will be at the forefront of that, because like I said, that's a game that they've been rolling out, and when it comes to marketing their Insomniac games, especially the Marvel ones, they will go all out on those. If you remember when the first Marvel Spider-Man game came out, they put so much effort into promoting it, and they would double down even more once the sequel came out, and I'm expecting the same thing for Marvel's Wolverine. Usually when we get that second trailer for a PlayStation 5 exclusive, and you know that some more follow-ups are right around the corner, and it's been roughly around 4 months since we got the second trailer for Marvel's Wolverine, and seeing our boy Logan show up within the month of February would be right on time. I have no doubt that we're going to be seeing some awesome stuff. Like I said, we need to see an in-depth view of the gameplay, show what other aspects of the gameplay we're going to be getting outside of just slashing. Are we going to be seeing some stealth like I suggested earlier, and what's the traversal going to look like? But with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you guys. What do you think about these details? Do you feel like Sony shouldn't be dodging Rockstar when it comes to the release of Grand Theft Auto 6? I honestly feel like there's room for both of them to succeed. Also, what do you think about Marvel's Wolverine making an appearance at PlayStation State of Play in less than a few weeks? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, I ask that you like or dislike the video. It doesn't have to be a thumbs up, you can give me a thumbs down if you want. But if you really enjoyed this video, it would help me out tremendously if you shared it with all your friends and followers on all the different social media outlets. Sharing is caring. But once again, this is your boy RBG signing out on another video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.